Absolutely. The rupee went from the worst in Asia to the best today, right? So you see that very strongly in the rupee. You see that in the Sensex and Nifty. Everyone's really excited. It's a big, huge sign of relief. And we've always argued that India trade deal with the US will happen, that tariff will need to be dropped. The question is how and when, and this is happening. And I think the reason why markets are so happy about this is that it's immediate, right? Immediately you'll get that lower from 50% to 18. Immediately Indian exporters will feel more competitive, which means earnings will feel better and there'll be more dollar inflows and therefore helping with the rupee. Immediately that also takes the drag off the back of portfolio flows, which have been wondering how long is this going to be a drag for, because the US, which was India's biggest market, became second to the EU in 2025, goes to show that in fact that India's need this trade deal, and the US also needs this trade deal, and the immediate relief is felt immediately. Versus, for example, the EU FTA, which I think is also a big deal, but the market did not respond so proportionately, is that it's positioning for future liberalization. It's very unlikely to be ratified by the EU itself and also India until 2027, and everything is being phased. But for now, you get immediate pressure off India's back. And I think that's going to make a huge difference in the short term and also long-term prospect for India, because you're reversing the negative impacts. But additionally, it is competitive, as many people have mentioned. The 18% is very competitive vis-a-vis Southeast Asia, which gets roughly the same, but a bit higher, somewhere between 19 to 20. But the most important thing, in my opinion, for India is that it's in the game of trade, right? It's signaling that it is with the seriousness of FTAs with the EU, with the UK, and most importantly, the biggest market in the US is the US. And so by saying that, it's opening itself for further liberalization, further reforms, and the fact that it's putting its name in the on the map for manufacturing, not just for India, but manufacturing to export to the US, manufacturing to export to the EU, and many other markets. And I think that reflects also the budget that was unveiled on Sunday, and that reflects the change of tide in Indian policy mindsets that's willing to take much more risk, right? And I think that's very important for India.